Alright, let's talk about you. Are you the type of person who talks very, very fast, use your hands all the time, and you just think with pictures? Are you the type of person who's kind of relaxed, talks slow, easy going? Are you the type of person who has to hear things? Are you the type of person who can talk really fast at one point and then you just slow down? Are you very well spoken? Are you the type of person who needs to see things? Are you the type of person who needs to really get a gut feeling in order for you to trust someone? If that's true, then you'll be figuring out some very interesting things up next. But another thing to think about is, do you know anyone like that? Know anyone who fits these descriptions? How does this relate to the title? How is this going to help you connect? Well, I want you to think about people who've acted like this. I want you to think about how you connect with them. How effectively do you connect with people who are different from you or similar to you? And what about people that you're friends with or not friends with? What about them do you think really makes the relationship what it is? So, without further ado, we're going to get on with it. I'll see you over there. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at VAC. VAC is the answer to all those questions that you had. So VAC stands for Visual, Auditory, Kinesthetic. Visual is seeing, auditory is hearing, kinesthetic is feeling. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can use these three modalities to better communicate and understand with people. We're going to start with visual. Visual. Visual people tend to talk very, very fast. They use their hands all the time. That's because they're thinking very fast. They think in pictures, and they're constantly moving through these pictures, so they're talking very fast to keep up with the pictures and using their hands in order to better illustrate visual to you what they want to communicate. Now we're going to transition to the second modality. Alright, so the second modality is auditory. So auditory people tend to talk at a fast rate and a slow rate. They tend to talk high, they talk right here, but they also talk right here. Everything's varying, everything fluctuates. And so auditory people, they speak like that, but they're also the type of people who, in meetings or in any situation where they have to focus, if other noises are going around and they just can't focus on one particular thing, they're usually auditory because they need that silence so they can single in on that speaker. So that's auditory. Let's move on to kinesthetic. Alright, so now we're down to our very last modality, kinesthetic. So kinesthetic can be broken down into two basic parts, emotion and moving. So how does this relate to the person, a kinesthetic person? Kinesthetic people move very slow, very relaxed tone, never really changing the whole time, easy going. They also, when having to convince a kinesthetic person, you're going to have to get them to really feel what you're saying. You're going to have to get them to get that gut feeling and really just trust you. And so, how does that relate to the whole movement and feeling thing? Well, they're really going to need to feel things. And usually when you're communicating with them, you're going to have to move them through certain things. They have to be moved through. Like, alright, let's take this one step at a time. So, I've summarized all three of these. Now we're going to transition to how we can apply this knowledge to better connecting and understanding and communicating with others. What does this have to do with talking to others and communicating with them? Well, you're gonna have to first know what VAC is. visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Then you have to next identify what the person is. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So in doing that, once you identify that, pick out keywords also. You gotta pick out keywords that they use, like look, or hear, or feel. And when you hear those, you kind of relay the same kind of words back to them. It's a tactic called matching and mirroring. So I'm going to go step by step with each one of these, just like I did previously. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, I hope you can. I have keywords written right here, literally. And so the three keywords, three examples I'm going to use to describe the visual modality are look, show, and bright. So let's say you're talking to someone and you already picked up on the physiology of they're moving their arms, they're speaking fast, and they're probably thinking in pictures. Once you get there, you're going to hear them say sentences like, you know, it really just didn't look right, or I really just need someone to show me, or my future is so bright. Very visual. And so when you hear things like this, look, bright, show, you know, these aren't the only words that can connect, but when you hear words like this, you need to respond in a visual manner. So let's say I'm talking to your mom, and your mom says, oh my gosh, things are looking great for me. You're going to respond with, oh my gosh, I can really see that. See that. Visual word. And when you do that, the people will connect with you. They'll see that sense of commonality between the two of you. Because what people often don't know is that all connection happens because people realize that they're similar to others. And they realize that they have someone who's like them, who they can join with and be on the same team with. So look for those words. Let's see what I did there. Look, bright, show. Look for those words and mirror them, mimic them with similar visual words. Now let's move on to auditory. Alright, on to the next modality. The next modality is auditory. And so the auditory modality, you're really going to have to focus in on words like hear, say, and listen. Those are the three key words that I put on the board. I hope you can see them. And so with all words relating to auditory, you have to do the same thing as visual. You have to pick out those words to relate to them your commonalities. So let's say you picked up already on the physiology. They're talking in different tones and pitches, and they're all over the place, very well spoken. They're very hearing oriented. They really listen in. Once you notice these things and you hear them talk, pay very close attention as to what they're saying. If they say, oh wow, I can really hear what you're saying, you just gotta listen in. You would respond in, oh, I have to listen in? Well, I really just don't hear what you're saying right now though. So you're gonna have to repeat it, or you're gonna have to explain it even more, and they'll be hooked because they found this connection. So that is auditory. Next, we got kinesthetic. Alright, so kinesthetic. As I discussed earlier, kinesthetic can be broken down very simply into movement and emotion, all revolving around the sense touch. So, touch and emotion. So, I got my three keywords, or my three phrases that will really, really resonate. Baby steps, pissed off, feeling it. So let's say you're talking to someone, they're talking about their experience at a carnival. They're like, I was at the carnival, the weather was great, I was really feeling it. But then I went to go play this game. I really like this game. I even make comments on it before I even approach. So I walk up to this game and I swing my hammer. It's the pound game. You take the hammer, pound the disc, and the little iron thing, whatever it's called. I'm doing my best. Little iron thing shoots up and hits the bell. So this person keeps talking. The person says, so I swing the hammer, and I swing it down, and I hit, and I'm really feeling that swing. But I don't get it, and then the clown teases me. It really pissed me off. So I looked at it, and I took baby steps to redo my motions, to re-go through it. And so when they say that something like that, it's blatantly obvious. They're kinesthetic. Baby steps, the movement. Pissed off? Oh, feeling for sure. Feeling it. Very self-explanatory. When you hear stuff like this, be like, wow. You don't want to say, wow, that sounds good, or it looks like you had fun. You say, I really feel what you're saying. I would be so angry too. That would have made me so mad. I'm really glad, emotion, that you really fixed it and got that stuff there for your girlfriend or whatever, whoever this imaginary person went with, the kinesthetic person. Do you see? It's broken down very simply. VAC, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So first, you gotta keep these in mind. Then, you identify what the person is through their actions, through their speech, through the words that they say. Once you feel like you kind of have an idea of what the person is, you move on and you take an action step. You say something to mirror them, to match them. And then before you know it, you'll be having great conversations. You'll be connecting with everyone. It will be hard to find a dull moment or a person who doesn't like you. Now we're going to move on to some next points. So, once you hit this point where you can understand who the person is and what they are in that moment, because what I haven't mentioned to you yet is that although everyone has a dominant modality, everyone has either visual, auditory, kinesthetic as their dominant modality, that doesn't mean they're always going to be behaving in it. So you have to keep paying attention. There's things called submodalities. So you can have, generally people only have two main ones. So let's say I'm a visual kinesthetic, and I'm about to tell my friends about my day yesterday, my day in traffic. I walk up really fast, and I'm like, hey guys, guess what? See? Fast. Hands moving. Hey guys, guess what? Today on the way to school, oh, I was so pissed. I was driving in my car, and I went to go change lanes, and all of a sudden I see all this traffic. It was horrible. Oh man, it was awful. See what I did there? Visual, kinesthetic. You gotta listen for those words. People switch in and out of these things, in and out of these modalities. And so what you have to pick up on is the fact that people aren't always going to be in the same modality, and you just have to be aware. That's super huge. Let me write that right here, big as you can see. Aware. That's the cornerstone to all this. It's caring enough about the person you're talking to want to make that connection and understand. And how do you do that? You use VAC. But how do you even get VAC? You become aware of what the people you're talking to are saying. Become aware. When you really break this down, you can't have any of this. You can't have visual. You can't have auditory. You can't have kinesthetic. You can't find those things without awareness. You have to be aware. So, made a mess of my board. So that's very important. That's the cornerstone to all this. You're just increasing your awareness for people. You're caring. So let's move on. You've gotten that you need to find the physiology. You've gotten that you need to look for the words that they're saying, decode, the words that they're saying. You have to mirror and match them. And now you know that all that is based on awareness. So that's it. That's really it. We're going to move on to a quick disclaimer right now. So we just learned about VAC. And so by learning about VAC, we learned how to identify what kind of a person they are: visual, an auditory, and a kinesthetic. We also learned how to identify through their words what kind of person they are, all that stuff. And we learned how awareness is the most important. Awareness is the backbone to all of it. But although all that is good, and although all of that will help you connect, you need to change something. If you don't adjust slightly so that you're not repeating everything they say and you're not doing exactly what they do, you will be looked at as a fool because you look like you're just miming them. Don't play Simon Says. Have a conversation. Interact. Connect. Do not play Simon Says. If they stand tall, you don't stand. You can stand tall, but you don't do it the whole time. You shouldn't look like a robot following another robot. It should be subtle. They shouldn't even notice it. Alright, so it's the end of the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'd ask you to like this video, comment down below an experience that you've had that was unbelievably awful or unbelievably great, and relating to connecting with others and trying to interact. Maybe someone that you try and talk to and you just don't connect with. Also, in the comments down below, say what kind of person you are. Are you visual auditory? Are you kinesthetic auditory? Or are you auditory visual? Also, please be sure to subscribe and share with your friends. If this is something that really helped you, please share it with someone who it could help also. That's why I make these videos. I want to try and help people in their lives and make it easier for them. That's the whole reason for all of this. So please share. Your mom, your brother, your aunt, your cousin, your friend, your acquaintance, some random guy you just ran into. Share it with them so that they can have the knowledge that you have. There's no point in being smarter if you can't help other people. If you just help yourself, then it's just pointless. Alright, well, I've been Grant. This is I Am Sensei. Peace from the dojo.